G'day everyone, welcome to Inside Rugby with Mark. If you haven't been here before, my name is Mark, and in this video I'm going to talk about the game between Wales and Fiji that was played in the weekend at the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. Let's get into the video right now. G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Great to have you here. Great weekend of rugby we saw this weekend, and this game, Wales versus Fiji, was one of those cliffhangers right until the end. Well, it's been an unhappy journey so far this year for Wales, of course, under Warren Gatlands. Prior to this game, they'd lost 9 games in a row, and this game was heralded as the opportunity for Wales to come out on top. They've got very tough encounters coming up against Australia and then South Africa, of course. So they really wanted to target this Fiji game as one of the opportunities for them to come out with a win this weekend. So Warren Gatlands had put together a side that he thought was going to be very good on the attacking side of things and to be able to keep Fiji at bay when it comes to their defensive work. Fiji, on the other hand, were full of their top players who had come back after their top 14 contractual arrangements had been met. And unlike the team we saw play against Scotland last weekend, this was an opportunity for Fiji to put their best team out onto the field. So it was a really good start by Wales in this game. I thought they got some structure to their game. They were putting on a lot of pressure to the Fiji team. They were looking good on attack. They were getting very close to the Fiji line. And what I liked about Wales in the early minutes of this game is they really wanted to give it a go. And they weren't scared of just playing a kicking game against this Fiji team, which I thought they might have adopted in the early stages. And when the new winger Blair Murray went over in the 7th minute, it was a good result for Wales because that pressure they'd put on early was resulting in points on the scoreboard, and I thought that was really good for them. They went close again in the 14th minute when Winnett went over, but this try was disallowed under infringement beforehand, so that was a little bit unfortunate. But it wasn't long after that that they got awarded a penalty try. So Wales took off on the scoreboard, and they were putting Fiji under points pressure early on in the game. So of course that penalty try led to some problems for Fiji, and it came in the colour of yellow. Yes, Kana Kavita was sent off, their number 8, and unfortunately for Fiji, they're back into a place where they're used to being, and that is with 14 men on the field. Discipline once again for this Fiji team, a problem that their head coach Mick Byrne has been really trying to get on top of. And it only got worse for Fiji. At one stage in this game they were down to 13 men, and it's something that they just can't afford to do. And I was thinking during that period of the game that there was no way that Fiji was going to win this game. But you know what? Wales weren't able to put points on the board. They weren't able to take the opportunity when Fiji were down to 13 men. But rugby's a funny game, isn't it? And even though you're down to 13 men, there's a lot of things that come into factor. And one of them is pride and belief, and that's what this Fiji team has a lot of. Now, a lot of people say if you score more tries than the opposition, the likelihood is you're going to win the game. Well, in this case, it wasn't the fact. Wales ended up scoring 3 tries in this game. Fiji ended up scoring 2, but it was one man that made the difference for me in this game, and he was the number 10 for Fiji, Caleb Muntz. If you've been watching any of my videos previously over the last year, you'll know that I'm a big fan of Caleb Muntz. I've been playing him up a lot in this Fiji team. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see his brilliance at the Rugby World Cup last year, but we are seeing it this year, and he played an absolute blinder against Wales in the weekend. Muntz was brilliant in this game. He scored 4 penalties, 2 conversions, and he got a brilliant try where he busted through a lackluster Wales defence and scored right next to the post. He had a brilliant game when it came to general kicking. He was really good in controlling this Fiji team when they needed him to, and his distribution out to his running backs was very, very good. And of course, Tui Sova came alive in the last 10 minutes of this game, made the difference by scoring the match-winning try by pushing literally away the Welsh defence, and it was a historical and well-deserved Fiji win. I saw a lot of different things from this Fiji team in this game. Their resilience to come back with 13 men on the field, but then when they did get restored to 14 and then 15, they played good structured game where usually Fiji are known to throw games like this away. Frank Lamani played very well at halfback. I thought his box kicking on occasions was brilliant. It gave Fiji the opportunity to be contestable under the high ball, and that's something they thrive at because they're such athletic rugby players. And they showed that again in this particular game, put Wales under a lot of pressure. One thing they didn't pick up on, and I think this is something in their game they need to watch, and that's game intelligence at the time. Wales brought on Sam Costello and put him on the wing when Mason Grady was injured, and Fiji did not play to this weakness. I thought this is a great opportunity for Fiji to get the ball out wide and to put Costello under a lot of pressure. He's not a great defensive player. He's only 5'8", and against the big Fijian wingers and fullback, I thought Fiji missed an opportunity on that particular occasion. It didn't cost them a win in this game, but it's just a part of their game that I would like to see them get a little bit more clever at, looking at identifying players on the field of play where they can deem a weakness. Rather than going out wide at that particular point of the game, Fiji did a lot of forward work up the middle, trying to tire Wales out, which was also a good theory because then they were able to make meters out wider. But it was a great game by Fiji. They definitely deserved the win. 10 defeats in a row now for Warren Gatlands' Wales team. Where do they go from here? They've got Australia next weekend, and then they've got the world champions South Africa. It's going to be a tough season for Wales no matter the way that you look at it. Now, Wales had some good players in this game. I thought Wainwright played very well at number 8. Thomas Williams was good at number 9. He got beaten up in this game and he showed a lot of courage and kept performing well. But out in the back line, Wales just did not have the answers to crack through this defensive line. I thought Murray played well on the wing as a debutant, and I thought at times there was some other good play from Winnett. He kicked well on a couple of occasions, but there wasn't enough creativity and drive going forward for Wales to get through the Fijian defence on attack, and that was the big difference in this game. Even though they scored 3 tries, they probably should have had 3 more, but they weren't able to get across that Fiji line when it counted. I thought Bevan also played well for Wales, and Plumtree did a couple of good things except for taking out his own player, which he did with Thomas Williams at one stage and nearly got him carried off the field. But there wasn't enough consistency from the Welsh forwards to really create the platform for their backs to do a lot in this game. Yeah, they scored 3 tries, but they probably should have scored 3 more in this particular game. On the Fiji side, we saw some fantastic performances. Lamani was good, I thought, with his box kicking, which was on point in the second half, where he put up a lot of contestables that Fiji were able to win in the high ball in the air. Muntz, of course, was brilliant, and Tuiasova came into his own in the second half, particularly in the last 15 minutes of that game, where he made some bustling, big, brutal runs through the Welsh defence and got Fiji on the front foot. We had to listen to the post-game interview of the Fijian players, and they talked about how much they believed in being able to beat Wales in this particular historic occasion. And they also believe that they can be better against other top-tier rugby nations across the world. And this game and this result is going to go a long way to helping Fiji do that. They're going to become more and more structured, I believe, under Mick Byrne as their head coach. And who knows what they're going to be able to do next. I just absolutely love watching this Fijian team play. There are a lot of characters in this team, and there's also a lot of fantastic athletes who are able to play rugby in a way that no other nation can, in my belief. This sets up a fantastic clash now between Wales and Australia next weekend, and both teams are going to be able to, and both teams are going to be really wanting to be on it for this particular game. Australia are going to want to back up that fantastic win that they had against England in the weekend and prove to everybody that they've got consistency back into playing at that top level. Warren Gatlands' team, on the other hand, are desperate for a win at this stage, and they're going to throw everything they have at this Australian team. So I think this is going to be a really, really good game. A little bit too hard to call. I'm going to go on the side of Australia because they got the confidence from that win against England. They do look like a very, very good team at the moment. There's a lot of good players in that team. And once the 2 teams are announced later on in the week, I'll come back with a full preview video talking about that game between Wales and Australia. So watch out for that on the channel. So there you go. There's my thoughts around Wales versus Fiji. If you watched the game, let me know in the comments what you thought of it, what players stood out to you, who impressed you, and who needs to be sacked from their team. Were there any players that you thought shouldn't be in the team after their particular performance this past weekend? I'd like to know from you. Now, I'll be back with a full preview for the Wales versus Australia game coming up next weekend once the teams are announced, so watch out for that one. The best way to stick around is hit the subscribe button, of course. Give this video a like and a thumbs up. That helps the YouTube algorithm for me. And always put your comments in. I read them all if they are respectful. Okay, thanks very much for watching this particular video. Stay well, stay safe, everybody. Keep enjoying your rugby across the world. And I'll see you again right here on Inside Rugby with Mark in the not too distant future. Until then, it's time to say adios from beautiful Cancun in Mexico. Bye for now.